What's going on, guys? Coming to you live from the Apocalypse Bunker. Excuse me. Kind of wanted to take some time to share a video of some different customs I've done over the past few years. Some of you might have seen in other videos or photo stories. Others maybe I haven't shared, but I thought, as I'm building content for my YouTube page, I might take a little bit of time to just share some interesting projects I've done. So without further ado, I'll pause this and we'll just get started. First up, I kind of wanted to go over these rifles that I made. I had some old broken White Tiger Hunt classic G.I. Joe rifles that I took. As you can see, I wanted to make a classic style scout rifle, so I took some M16 clips and I put some flash suppressors on the end of the barrels, and I made a scout rifle. On this particular rifle, you can see I rebuilt the trigger and trigger guard as well because they were missing. It's a cool project. I did it with a Dremel. I kind of wanted to give my G.I. Joes kind of an upgraded rifle. So I came up with this concept of a scout rifle. I have a Ruger Gunsight Scout 308 rifle that I target shoot with, and I kind of love the way that thing looks, and I thought it was a cool looking jungle rifle if I could make a similar G.I. Joe one. So I just used a standard old school M16 clip and retrofitted it to the rifle and painted it black. I made two of them. This one's a little different. You can see it's got a different style flash suppressor on the end. Sorry if it doesn't focus real well. Same thing, was missing a trigger guard and trigger, so I built those for this rifle as well. Now this next rifle, I don't know if you guys are familiar with guns very much, but there's been some rifle platforms that shoot 223 rounds lately that look similar to this one. The manufacturers make all different types of them. I just took the old G.I. Joe M1 carbine from the original G.I. Joe 1964 line and cut the end off, and then I retrofitted a M16 barrel to it, and then put a nice scope on it, added a sling. It's a really cool looking gun. It was featured in one of my Mummy episodes. It's really unique. It's just a neat gun that I have for my adventure team in case things get hairy. But this is a kind of a cool project that I did a few years ago. Since we're on the topic of guns, this here is a Shapeways auto pistol that I bought a few years back. It was intended to be my sidearm for either Red Claw or Baron Ironblood, but I just never felt it looked right in their hands. I bought this off Shapeways. They make a lot of 1/6 scale weapons on there. I believe it's based on the Call of Duty Modern Warfare game. It came unassembled. I had to put it together. I didn't get a high quality 3D print of this, so it's got a little bit of a weird pattern on it. I primed it and painted it with a gunmetal. I might repaint it again one of these days with a different color, but I thought this was kind of a cool gun to share. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with it. It's part of my villains line still. I just don't know how I'm going to proceed with using it. So, like I said, Shapeways has a lot of cool stuff on there. This is something that I bought. You can find a lot of 1/6 scale gear on there for your G.I. Joes. They have machetes, knives. So this is just a pretty cool gun that I have. All right, this is my Fusion Bazooka for my G.I. Joe Super Joe figures. You've seen probably this before when I did my Super Joe video a few weeks back, but the old Super Joe Adventure Team had a Fusion Bazooka. It was gold, I believe, or silver. And I decided I wanted to make a 6-scale version with my own take on it. And I had this knockoff bazooka from, I believe, either the World Peacekeepers or some other knockoff G.I. Joe line that I had just lying around. And then I had this extra power unit for, I believe, the G.I. Joe, whatever that sound deal that they made was. I can't remember the name off the top of my head now. I have it, but I had a few extra of these, so I took some parachute cord, made a power cord. I had some extra parachute clips from other G.I. Joe sets, just as a small belt to go around the waist, and put a nice coat of the Rust-Oleum paint for plastics on it. Just made a nice little loud colored Fusion Bazooka for my adventure team, my Super Joes. Turned out really well. I actually like the way this looks, and I think this is probably a project I think a lot of people could do. It's just a basic use of your imagination to make something. So this is my Fusion Bazooka. This here is my drop tube. I was inspired by the drop canister that Cotswold and Sean Huckster did, and I wanted to have a smaller version of it, so I'm a avid cigar smoker, and I took a Gurkha Ghost tube for cigars. I had a ton of these laying around, and I had an old Blue Box or BBI 1/18 scale paratrooper parachute, and I just married the two together, threw a coat of paint on this, and the caps screw on and off so you can store stuff in there. I put a couple weights at the bottom of this with some Gorilla Glue to give it a little weight when you throw it. Made a custom decal, the nice drop crate parachute. I've made a few of these. I made a few of them for friends on Facebook and the G.I. Joe groups when I was still on there. This is a cool project. Anybody can do this. It's just a neat thing. It's very Adventure Team inspired, and just something I was toying around in my workshop one day. I had all this extra material laying around, so I decided to make this. This is my Adventure Team drop tube. Alright, this is something here that I probably haven't shared, maybe once on Facebook when I made it, but I can't even find the pictures from when I made it. The G.I. Joe Collector Club, as most of you are aware, put out a reissue of their Mike Power figure, a little upgraded version, had an LED light, additional bionic limbs. Didn't have any of the play functions like the old Mike Power, like the arm that spun, but it was a pretty cool figure. And I got the accessory set with it. And I decided, since I had a bunch of these old G.I. Joe radios, broken ones laying around, I decided I was going to make a Mike Power radio to go with the accessory set that the Collector Club issued. So I actually took some plate styrene, or some sheet styrene, made a brand new lid, took an old World Peacekeepers backpack and made a harness, just a real simple harness, painted this thing red. As you can see, I added some decals, added a cool satellite phone, and this cord's just telephone wire stripped down. And I made this pretty cool communications pack for my Mike Power. I did a 2-photo shoot of it when I first made it, and I had them on Facebook for a while, but I deleted them, and I can't find them anymore, so maybe I'll do a new photo one of these days. But this is a really cool, simple project. If you have a lot of this old World Peacekeeper stuff, you can basically kit bash the heck out of it. That's kind of what I did with this, and it turned out pretty well. I put a cool little decal, kind of an homage to the Cotswold Cybernetic Explorer. They use the atomic symbol, so kind of gave a shout out to them on this. So this is my Mike Power action pack.